Scorpio, hello my darlings, how are you? Welcome to your reading for the week of the 27th of June 2022. Oh, you are quick to talk. Okay, let's have a look. We've got 3 cards out from the Chakra Insight Oracle. This is going to give us a bit of an overview, a bit of a feel for maybe some aspects that are going to come up in the reading as a whole for us. So you do have inspiration, ideas, spark, conception, and impulse. Okay. Impulse, Scorpio, that doesn't sound like you, does it? I'm only joking with you. I'm only funning with you. Okay. Inspiration, creativity. So imagination, expression, originality, and passion. Okay. Again, things that you know pretty well. All right. Apologies. I do have a new webcam, so I'm trying to just get the feel for the settings and focusing and all that sort of thing. So I'm getting there. Thank you for your patience. The third card out is the relationships card. Intimacy, freedom, acceptance, and trust. All right. So maybe there is a relationship that is sparking these sensations of creativity and inspiration for you. Or maybe it's a relationship with yourself. Okay, Scorpio. I also was drawn and guided this week to pull a card from the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck, and the reason being is that it's been a fairly intense week for some of us, so I just felt to call on some of that more gentle goddess energy to see what advice they could bring through for us. The card you've got here is Cordelia. Go outside. You've been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. Okay, Scorpio, does that ring true for you? You know, maybe you've been indoors focusing on this relationship, stuff. Oh, look, I wouldn't complain about that. But obviously there needs to be a balance. So that's our message from the goddess this week. We will see how it ties in to the messages of the rest of the layout as well. Now, similar to Cancer, I am getting asked by my guides to draw a card or two from the traditional Rider-Waite deck as well, just to give us a bit of confirmation on those extra, on those kind of overall feel, vibe energies. Now, you do have many cards here. You've got the 5 of Swords, okay, so potential conflict situation there. You've got the Tower, okay, potentially as, again, some sort of shake-up. You have the Hierophant, okay, interesting. And you have the 8 of Wands. All right, so I won't get ahead of myself in terms of talking through all of those energies just yet. We'll wait till we get the rest of the layout in full, and we'll see how it all is relating to us. So the main part of the reading, I'm going to be using the Tarot of Curious Creatures by Chris Ann. If you were here last week, you would have seen this same deck and the same layout. Now, as always, I have called in my guardians, guides, angels, and ancestors who love me unconditionally and are of the highest vibration. I do invite you to do the same if you are so drawn. You don't have to. You will be divinely guided and protected throughout this reading and connected throughout this reading regardless. So the first cutout we have is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, this is interesting in terms of what is coming out for us. All right. The next cutout was the 7 of Wands. Okay. But we'll take both of those. Oh, you are very chatty today, Scorpio. Right, we have the Knight of Cups coming out next. All right, Cancer also had the Knight of Cups. The 9 of Pentacles. Right, interesting. We then have the King of Wands. Beautiful. Thank you, guardians, guides, angels, and ancestors. Additional messages for our Scorpio friends. The 8 of Wands again. Thank you, Spirit, for confirmation. So, and I say that because we have the 8 of Wands up here. So that's in the position of how we can best support ourselves this week. So that'll be interesting to have a look at how that fits. Okay. So Scorpio, I do hope you've had a good week. And yeah, look, I hope this week's even better. Look, it's starting out with the Wheel of Fortune, so I think it's going to be a pretty good week for you. I'm not so worried about that Tower card, and I will tell you why in a moment. Knight of Wands has come out next. The Knight of Wands. Okay, this final position on the outside of the layout of the box is sitting in the position of your career. Whoop. Caught it just in time. So we have the Hanged Man. Whoa. Apologies, I'm getting used to the angle of this camera where I need to hold things. Okay. And the final card we're looking for is a card that's going to sit outside of the box. Now, this is a way for us to think outside of the box, or it could just be an additional message from the universe. So thank you, guides. All right, let's have a look. The Ace of Swords. Okay. Right, let's zoom out, step back and see what's going on for an overall energy for you. All right. So I do actually see this Tower card being, you know, and I said it to Cancer because Cancer had the Tower card as well. It's about the Tower was in pretty poor shape to begin with, all right? Its foundations were cracking. It's now on fire. It's somewhere you don't want to be, all right? It's somewhere that is an energy that no longer serves you. It may well be that it's an uncomfortable energy, like this Five of Swords here. It's this uncomfortable, and, you know, that can be potentially be some sort of conflict. The Hierophant is also, before I continue, the Hierophant can sometimes be a card of marriage or commitment, or I guess structures of, like, say, religion or something like that. So structures of hierarchy, structures of formal arrangements, formal agreements. So it may well be that there's been some sort of conflict or breakdown in foundations that has resulted in the ending of some kind of contract or commitment to something that maybe you have been committed to in the past that now no longer resonates with you. And what I feel this is doing is it's opening up this new spark of inspiration and creativity for you. We've got the Wheel of Fortune here in the first position, your week as a whole. So it is telling me that your fortunes are changing, that you do have, there's this new energy behind what's going on for you. It feels like you're letting go of old systems that no longer serve you. You've got this Ace of Swords from the universe, the message from the universe on how to think outside the box. And this is, it could be a victory that's coming into, you know, if this is a breakdown of a marriage or something like that, it could be that if there's some sort of legal attachment to it, it might be that there's some sort of victory, you know, in terms of that reaching some sort of a close or a finalization, if you will. It could also very well be a new beginning, okay, because the Tower, that stepping away from that conflict of the Five of Swords, you don't want to get involved in that petty kind of, you know, winning at all cost kind of attitude. You know, we're bigger than that. We've moved on from that. We don't work in that way anymore. And so you've come to the point where you're like, no, this is my truth. This is how I want to move forward. And so it's that opportunity of a new path, and it's a new path. It's a new path that's potentially going to bring you lots of passion. Okay, we've got that inspiration, creativity, relationship. So there's potentially new passions coming in here with the King of Wands as well. So, and the other card that's really standing out to me here is the Hanged Man, and that's in the position of your career. So it may also be that this contract, this whatever it is, that this is this system maybe that's set up around you, is that it may be related to your career. You might be rethinking things in terms of your career. So do take that how it resonates, but we'll jump into the rest of the reading we'll break it down a little bit more. The other thing that has come up for me to highlight for you is those 2 8 of Wands. So, you know, the Tower, while we can often see it coming, when it comes, it can sometimes come quite quickly. The 2 8s of Swords does tell me that whatever is happening in your life may happen very quickly for you this week, okay? So, but look, I know that you have the fortitude and the strength to, you know, to hold that space, to conduct yourself and move forward. And, you know, that you've got this 9 of Pentacles here. You're very well supported. You're very independent. You know who you are. You really do have everything around you. You've got all that you need. So, you know, maybe if anything, you might just be lacking that, maybe a companion, some sort of romance. But with that Knight of Cups sitting above that 9 of Pentacles, you know, that may well be a nice match that's coming in for you, potentially this week. But it could actually be longer than that as well. But there is the relationships card there as well. So potentially some new beginnings in terms of relationships, or an elevating, a rising up in terms of existing relationships as well. I do feel it is related to romantic relationships. And, you know, it could also be obviously the idea of romance, but it also could be this idea of passion as well. So you've got the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. So this idea of a passionate energy that's coming in, and even that inspiration and that creativity card speak to me of, you know, kind of spark. That inspiration card actually says the word spark. So it's that spark of passion. It's that spark of igniting new ideas and igniting new passions in you. So that's definitely on the cards for you, excuse the pun. So if we break it down a little bit further, as I said, the Wheel of Fortune is sitting in the position of your week as a whole. So yeah, definitely your fortunes are changing. They're changing for the better. So the Wheel of Fortune does indicate that things are shifting, and they will shift in your favor. The other thing about this particular Wheel of Fortune is that she's sitting in the middle of the wheel. So sometimes with the Wheel of Fortune, we see the people are on top of the wheel, on the bottom, on the side, but she's actually seated in the middle of that wheel. And what I want to say about that is, if we're bringing in this 5 of Swords, this conflict, this potential, almost like a warring type situation, and the Tower, it's almost like where there is chaos, it's inviting you to sit in the center of that wheel and just kind of watch the chaos happen around you. It's inviting you to be detached from whatever's going on around you and just be the observer, okay? Be like this King of Wands. He's not going to get involved. He's going to sit back on his throne, cool as a cucumber, and, you know, and kind of do what needs to be done, because he's brave, he's courageous, he's powerful, but he doesn't overexert or overstep his aggression, is the word I want to say. All right. So let's see what else is going on. This 7 of Wands here is in the position of something that may come as a surprise to you this week. So look, this is about being defensive, maybe holding your ground on something. It may well be related to that 5 of Swords there. So if there's a conflict that does come to you this week, there may be a necessity for you to hold your ground, but I just don't know whether that's the best advice. You know, I would prefer you to kind of, rather than come in with an aggressive, well, I mean, she's not really aggressive, she's more defensive, but rather than coming in with this defensive positioning, can you actually just navigate around it? Can you just kind of watch it from afar? I mean, there may be a point where you actually can't kind of avoid it. And if that's the case, then you may need to actually stand your ground on something, okay? The Knight of Cups has come in the position of how we can stay grounded and focused this week. So it might be that in terms of something to focus on, or to be grounded, to help you to ground, it may well be to tap into this idea of connection, to tap into this idea of romance. And it could be in a relationship. It could be this spark of a new relationship. You know, the Knight of Cups does often indicate romance coming in, so it could be a new relationship. Also, if it's not, because obviously it can't be for every single person watching this, but if it's not, please do remember that we can romance ourselves. We can offer ourselves that same romance and that same attention and kind of appreciation of ourselves, if you will. So be it going outside for a walk, you know, go for a bushwalk on your own if you feel comfortable to do that. Take a nice long bath, bubble bath with candles around you if it's, you know, safe to do that. So yeah, so take that as it resonates, but definitely if you could maybe focus on that idea of, you know, being supported or supporting yourself on that intimate level, okay? So the Nine of Pentacles has come out, and this is in the position of your emotions this week. So you are feeling, I'm getting used to where this camera is. You are feeling very strong, very confident, very secure, independent, capable, you know, very solid. So you're feeling very solid this week in terms of your emotions, okay? So I think that's a great place to be if you've got a potential Tower moment, you know, Five of Swords sort of lingering somewhere this week. So it's almost like you're unshakable with this energy of, you know, with your emotions. You're sitting in that middle of that wheel of fortune. You're sitting in the everything happening around you. So it does feel like whatever is going to happen this week, you are a little bit unshakable. And I think it is because of the support that you've got around you. This King of Wands is sitting in the position of your inspirations this week. So the sense that I'm getting here is that there may be a person that does inspire you this week, somebody that you can look up to, somebody that you can emulate in terms of how they conduct themselves. You might think, that's how I want to conduct myself in a similar situation, okay? So can you draw on somebody who does conduct themselves with, you know, a sense of bravery and courage and passion and, you know, fairness, but also has that kind of strong, strong assertive power, again, without overstepping it, okay? So that King of Wands, we know that the lion can be very ferocious, but, you know, he will choose his moments for that ferociousness, if that's a word, okay? So you could potentially find somebody who you can use, who has those characteristics to help you through any energies that you may feel you can draw on those qualities to help you through, okay? The Eight of Wands I have already spoken about, things happening quickly. There may be some messages or some sort of communication coming in around something this week, but definitely something happening very quickly. And this is in the position of how we can best support ourselves. I don't necessarily see it related particularly to its placement in the layout here. I think it is more about that things could be happening very quickly for you, okay? I'm not going to kind of go too much into that, but the only thing I will say is in terms of its position, how you can best support yourself, just acknowledge that, you know, that sometimes things have to happen quickly. And sometimes when things happen quickly, it kind of gets it over and done with. Obviously, it gets it over and done with quicker. But if it's something, you know, that's challenging or painful or, you know, which is not really indicated here other than the, you know, the Tower and the Five of Swords. But if it's going to be painful, it's going to be quick, okay? Because you've got the two Eight of Swords saying it's quick. Like, just, you know, put your head down and get through it. Hold this composure and this grace, and you'll get through it. You'll get through it very quickly, and then you can start with these new beginnings, this Ace of Swords, this new beginning, this looking at things from a different perspective, the Hanged Man. So the Knight of Wands is sitting in the position of your relationships this week. So again, it's sitting opposite that Knight of Cups here. So definitely in terms of relationships, definitely something coming towards you. If you are looking for a relationship, it's something that does have the potential for great romance and great passion, which is a lovely combination, okay? So if it's not a new relationship, it could be some kind of, I guess, stepping up in terms of relationships that you are already in. So you might actually connect in with people around you, whether it be romantically or otherwise, but people who bring in that, who demonstrate to, I think is the word that I want to say, demonstrate to that they conduct themselves with passion, that they conduct themselves with a sense of bravery and fortitude and strength. Okay, so that's the message that's coming through there. But as I said, definitely could be a new relationship that does spark that passion for you. So the Hangman is in the position of your career. So you may be being invited this week to have a look at things from a new perspective in terms of your career. So the other thing is too that the bat navigates his way through his world, and I say his because he's wearing a suit and tie, I'm assuming it's a him, navigates his way through his world using like a sonar navigation system. So what that's indicating to me here is you may be invited to intuitively connect into maybe some changes that might be calling to you in terms of career or whatever it is that you do for a day-to-day kind of sense of purpose, that kind of thing. So you may be intuiting your way to a new pathway, to a new opportunity, a new sense of, a new truth is what I want to say with this Ace of Swords. It's almost like you're getting an opportunity to step into this new truth of who you are, because the old system that you were maybe in doesn't fit who you are anymore. So this is an opportunity for a new stepping in, knowing who you are, King of Wands, okay? Right. I think we've pretty much covered off on everything. Scorpio, it's a pretty cool reading, I've got to say. You know, there's a little bit of, potential challenge there with that Five of Swords with the Tower. I think we've talked our way through that. I think it has been demonstrated here that you can absolutely quite easily navigate your way through those challenges, and you're going to come out the other side feeling better, stronger, and more of who you are in terms of your own personal integrity and what makes you tick, what drives you forward, okay? All right, lovely, my friends. Thank you for being here. As I said, I do hope you've enjoyed the reading. If you have, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you next week. And please do bear in mind, I will never send you direct messages. I'll never ask you for any credit card details, anything like that. So just be mindful. There are a lot of scammers out there. But my friends, have a fabulous week. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.